a lot of folks are drawn into growth investing, especially those growth stocks that give like multiple 2 times, 3 times in a year. And they also hear other people say like dividend investing is for old people, this kind of thing. Which I generally disagree.
Eventually, whoever say this thing, you will need it.
Okay, welcome back to Chills with TFC, and today I have some good friends in the house. So today we're gonna finally chill, right? I mean, just now before we roll, I told them, hey, you must more chill lah. And they were like, oh yeah, I must see who's the host. I was like, yes, so.
It's true.
Yeah, so okay, so I'm hosting them today, and before we roll, okay, today's theme we're gonna talk about is inflation. But we're not gonna do the high and mighty, like how the inflation cha, all those things a lot of people cover already, which is well and good. But today we want to talk about more tangible. How is it impacting our lives? What are we doing? Those kind of stuff. And we have in the house, Chris from Honey Money.
Hi, my name is Chris. I run a YouTube channel called MoneySG. Talk about personal finance, talk about some investments, credit cards, CPF, and all that stuff. So I do publish 3 videos per week on my channel.
Oh, you have 3 videos a week now?
3 videos a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we also do 3 videos a week now. But we have a team. You're doing alone, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it alone.
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely.
On top of full-time job.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
It's
I do
crazy.
have a full-time job on top of my YouTube hustle.
So it's the other way around. So YouTube is the baseline, and then full-time job is the...
How depending on how you see it.
Okay. No need to name the company, boss relax. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have Kenny in the house.
Yeah, I'm Kenny Law. I'm my full-time is an independent financial advisor. I'm running a blog on mystocksinvesting.com for about 12 years. My specialization is in REIT, Singapore REITs.
Yes. That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Everybody know you for the REIT thing.
Right.
And we are preparing a ongoing monthly REIT segment.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna do that. A lot of good stuff on our other podcast network, TFC Investor Network. You should check it out. But today, specifically for today, I got you guys in the house because a few things. First thing, I'm very annoyed with the kind of coverage out there because it's all very high level kind of discussion, which I get it. And the thing is, I get it doesn't mean everybody get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I'm sure you guys, you're in the space, you hear this thing. Eventually, you also understand very well compared to everybody else. Right, but then today we want to do some content that will apply to everyone. That is not like, all this high macro view kind of thing. But before that, any thoughts on this kind of coverage? All this kind of market view, what's happening, inflation, interest rates, or any quick idea?
I think really need to really down to the level that how inflation affects us. What are we going to do about it? Because when we look at all those market research, all those guru, all those economists that are talking about inflation, they're talking too cheap already. Nobody understands what's going on, right? It doesn't really affect us. But bottom line, how it affects our spending, right? Whether we have enough money to spend, or especially for example, I think the biggest impact to most Singaporean now is more mortgage, because the inflation,
that's huge, yes.
Inflation at the same time you also need have an interest rate hike. Yes. Right, because the interest hike thereon really have a big impact on the mortgage we have to pay.
Yes.
Because if you look at it recently, I think because my wife used to have a so-called mortgage payment, I think around 1.something%. And recently she received the revision. It's a big jump. I don't know because I don't have a mortgage loan, right? But my wife have it, and she have to top up another.
Wait, why you don't have mortgage? Okay, share.
Okay, that is
yes.
The reason being is because we want to have some decoupling when it come to our investment because of ABSD, additional buyer stamp duty, right? So when we invest in the investment property itself, she use her name. I go and split it so that I can preserve or reserve my bullet for another property if I need to, right? But at the present moment, I'm still staying in the HDB. I'm only using the condo or apartment just for my investment property itself. But at the present moment, because of all this kind of cooling measure, cannot play this kind of game anymore. But at least I still have a slot to buy the investment property, but I have to pay the ABSD.
But you got increase your tenants rental now. You got see all the reports.
Yes.
Cannot tahan.
The tenancy agreement is going to expire, I think, coming in April. Definitely will be adjusted onward. Right, and I have one client share with me. I'm pretty surprised. He's able to increase the rental for with the condo by 30%. 30%.
Yes.
Is quite huge.
Yes, yes.
And also, I also have another so-called client that have an industrial building. The landlord asking for 15% rent increase.
yeah.
So the rental inflation is pretty real and pretty fierce in Singapore. But
Yes.
on the other hand, the mortgage also is very it's a lot lah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think that the mortgage portion actually play a huge part of the expense for the Singaporean household itself.
Yes.
I think that one is really the pain to most of people.
Yes. Unless you're using HDB loan.
Yeah.
HDB loan held stable because the reference rate is CPF OA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, so if CPF OA shift, HDB loan will shift. Okay, that's something for another time. Yeah. Chris, yourself, what do you think of this kind of coverage? This high level market updates kind of thing, which we also do lah. 自己讲自己啦.
I also do it every month.
Yeah, we also do it, right? That's the thing. We also do it, but sometimes I know it's a very small slither of people that understands it.
Yeah, so agree with Kenny here because he mentioned that the news mainly cover very high level stuff like the broad-based inflation rate, headline inflation rate, CPI and all this. But how does it really affect us as individuals, right? We need to take a look at what are we spending on. So for Kenny, he really covered the mortgage portion. But how about those people who do not own a house? Then most likely they will be affected in daily lifestyle spending like food, transportation, especially these two segments. We have seen like so many double-digit percent increase in terms of inflation.
Yes.
Like
I boycott Kaya Toast.
Because the egg increased by a lot.
Oh.
No, but so expensive now, right? Yakun was
yeah.
like what, 6 plus 7 now, right?
Yakun was $4.80 last year.
Oh, whoa,
Set A.
whoa, yeah.
He
still remembers that. Okay. And then what's the price now?
Last I seen was 560 or 580. Yeah. That's $1 increase.
Crazy.
So you still can remember all the pricing.
Yeah. Sensitive, bro. This
No,
this,
for me,
Very microeconomics.
no, bro. You concern a mortgage, right? A different ball game. Later you speak. Yes, but Christmas.
Common
Christmas.
folks who don't have housing,
Common
we are more common folks are 平民, Yeah.
Okay.
More focused on this kind of daily lifestyle thing, then I'm sure you all can feel it lah, the pinch in your wallet when you all want to spend it on
Yes,
food,
yes.
especially. So we'll explore more on this during the podcast lah.
Yeah, for sure. And even I mean, for all of you tuning in every week, you probably know that I spend most of my time in KL, so I stay in KL and then I come in to do a recording stint. So they make time for me. I very appreciate. But even in KL, prices have shifted, right? And I think if you want to really look at it, because the Sing dollar is a bit stronger today, in that sense, like the government has did some policy around there, right? Today not sponsored by MAS. I would love MAS sponsor us, but it's not. Okay, I think it has helped to dampen a little bit of the inflation kind of situation. Like just now I went to the blueberries. Okay, well, not too expensive. Like it's okay. Like it's a little bit better than a few months before. Yeah, I feel okay, but of course we can have that discussion, right? So yeah, maybe we start the ball rolling by talking a little bit about like what have you consciously or vividly adjusted in your spending in recent times, other than adjust rental for your rental.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, you're all the rental people, all the house, all the landlord contributing to CPI. Not very good. Must call them out. But yes.
Yeah, so I was saying about food and transportation, right? With regards to food and dining options, I think one of the more cautious thing that I did was to reduce my spending on restaurants. So we are talking about full service restaurants like those that charge service charge and GST. So what are the alternatives, right? You can actually dine more at your neighborhood coffee shop or neighborhood smaller restaurants. All these restaurants, they may not be charging you GST and service charge. So the experience may slightly differ.
Slightly only. You sure?
Okay, that depends on
I
what.
argue that it differs a lot,
Okay.
Like you know what I mean? Like full service, when you think about like full service restaurant and like kopitiam or like, like the zi cha downstairs, which I love. Like, I don't hate them, but I do think that my psyche is very different.
Yeah.
When I go for a full service restaurant, you know what I mean? Like when I go to a restaurant, it's not just to there's a difference between eating and dining.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like I go to a restaurant is to dine, not to eat. You know what I mean? But I go downstairs, like I eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I was about to go to that point,
Oh,
right?
okay.
The difference
来讲
between dining and eating. If you really want to go to restaurants for the experience, then okay, I'm very sure you all won't save on that kind of experience thing. But if you all really want to just enjoy good food, right, then I'm sure there are a lot of other smaller kind of restaurants that you all can take a look at, that you all can go and research on. So I would say that if you want to go for restaurants experiences, right, then you need to be aware that these costs are all added in with regards to all the inflation stuff. And it's not like a few percentage increase. You are talking about like 10%, 20% increase in food prices across the board. So that is something that I'm reducing the spend on as of the current state lah. Then transportation, I'm sure you all will notice that your private hire vehicles or your cabs and taxis are all increasing price compared to last year. Like massive inflation over there, you know. Your normal Grab ride last time maybe cost like $10 per trip. Now it's like $12, $14. So some people have already been cutting on this spending more on public transportation. So that is the general consensus that I'm seeing across the people that I'm hanging out with.
So you also practice these things?
Yeah.
More public transport?
Yeah.
Or you always public transport?
I
Or you
always
cycle to
public
work?
transport. To be frank.
Buy the katachia and cycle to work, right? Yeah, okay. Kenny, then what about you? Like, how have you changed?
I have a very simple lifestyle, right? So I don't really spend on luxuries. So
But
this
you
time,
wear the BMW shirt.
yeah, the BMW shirt only, but I don't drive BMW.
Okay.
That's a lot of difference.
Okay. Yes.
Right. So all the while I have been very consciously really live a simple lifestyle. So this time around the inflation, basically I don't feel any impact on me because I still continue to spend as per usual, go to restaurant as per usual, but I don't go to restaurant every day lah. Basically once a week with family, right? It's a normal restaurant. So basically inflation does not have a big impact to me. I don't really feel it. That's why I don't even know what is the akun kaya toast, what's the price. I just go and eat. I just go and eat.
okay,
Right.
okay.
So I think that maybe there are two reasons why this thing happened to me, right? Really like immune to inflation. First thing, must live a simple lifestyle first. So if audience out there, if you really want to have inflation immunity, first thing, make your spending low. Because I can survive with $2,000.
Yes.
Right. I'm playing for retirement anyway. 2,000, I think we can survive.
Can.
Right. The other thing is very important that once you have the stable income, multiple source of income, you do not really need to worry. Multiple source of income. If you have a single income, you have to look at your boss face and loan to work, then you are in trouble. Right? I have a multiple source of income. I also have a dividend portfolio. So when the inflation goes up, never mind, it's okay because my dividend portfolio, the dividend also increasing. So it's automatic hedge each other. That make me comfortable. That's why I want to spend, I also can spend. I want to go holiday, I also can go holiday. I will not say that, I have to hold back certain spending. I don't want to go holiday. It's not. That means at the present moment, basically my lifestyle not really affected.
But REIT portfolio drop, no man.
Oh, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, investing in REIT, but anyway, REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. It's a proxy for property investing, right? Bottom line is we don't look at the price. Bottom line, we look at what is the dividend collected. Because at the end of the day, it's a rental income generated, right? Just now I mentioned, right, the rental income goes up. Then at the same time, the dividend you'll be going up. That's why if you just ignore it, don't look at the price. If you look at price, you'll be very moody every day, cannot sleep. So I don't focus on that portion, right? I just focus on every month or every quarter, every year, whether the dividend is growing or not. That is the most important thing.
Fair point.
Yeah, so that's a cash flow perspective.
Cash flow
Yeah,
perspective, yeah.
What does it mean, cash flow perspective?
Cash flow means how much cash are you generating per month or per year. And it's not more on your like investment portfolio or net worth. It's more like how much cash can you generate from this portfolio of assets, which also means that the higher value or portfolio that you have, most likely you can generate more cash flow. But for people who have multiple sources of income, then their cash flow sources is very rich already. So they may not be too impacted on this kind of inflation stuff.
So how much you make from your YouTube channel?
How much I make?
Can say not?
Cannot. This one got IRA's impact.
Wow.
Guy just said that. Okay.
Yeah, I
okay,
just said
Later off screen we talk. But it also means it's significant, right? so such that it will move the needle.
Actually,
Yeah,
I do drop some hints. If you want that, you can watch on my YouTube channel.
Whoa. okay. I get it. Okay, cool. Because actually, one of the people I texted recently is Daniel Tay. I don't know if you guys know Daniel Tay, the freegan guy. Right, like famous one. He live on free, okay? And it's wild, right?
It's on Channel 5 acting, right?
Yes,
Okay.
he's everywhere. Right? So freegan guy, Daniel Tay, you can check out some of his content. He talks a lot about. I texted him, hey, how is inflation affecting you? His reply was, bro, I don't spend, I don't inflate. Yeah, because I don't spend, I don't feel the inflation. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Can you come on the show? He's like, I'm very busy. I was like, what are you busy with?
Busy collecting free stuff.
Yeah, busy collecting free stuff. Hey, he's crazy. He goes to the ground to collect from the bakery, do some dumpster diving. I think he say less now lah. These days he don't really do that because he got can't do it. So he got network, right? But I mean, they have a community going, they share around. So check out the freegan community. I think it's one way to go about it, right? But not everybody is comfortable with that way of life. It's of course up to you, personal choices. But I think the crux to open the segment is really like if your spending is not as high, then you are kind of not as affected by this thing, right? But then some people will say, no, but if you don't spend, does it affect your quality of life? You know what I'm saying? Because prudence is held up on this pedestal in this community, right? Like in personal finance, one must be prudent. Not prudent, you're wrong. Like macam sin like that.
Yes.
It's very serious. But you don't feel like living like you don't spend much. Like does it then affect your quality of life? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You can start with Kenny because he just now mentioned this.
Actually, not really, because at the end of the day, we have some basic needs, right? As long as you are able to fulfill your basic needs and at the same time you spend, as long as you make yourself comfortable, you're happy and just good enough already. Don't need to overspend. For example, I don't need a BMW to make myself happy. I just need a BMW shirt. That's it. It's something like that. Something like that.
Yes.
As long as you buy something that really can fulfill the basic needs that you need, I think it's just good enough. That's why you see, I don't even wear watch. Right?
I still don't wear.
Yeah, don't wear watch.
Don't wear.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I don't even know what kind of watch, the brand of the watch. I don't know because I don't follow.
But you don't feel like your life is lesser. You know what I'm saying? Like to some people, it's like, the other day I went shopping. I was like, okay, I never go shopping lah. But I'm more like, I went to Orchard. I was like, the amount of people buying things there. I was like, wow, very interesting. It's like a phenomenon, But and then to a lot of people, buying things and collecting stuff is a part and parcel of joy or happiness or
not necessarily, I think that inner self, they are empty. They need to have something to buy to really fulfill certain needs, right? So it's maybe I'm reaching 50 already. That's why uncle, right?
Uncle Kenny 跟你讲 yes.
So at different stage of life, we are chasing for different things, right? For example, after you cross the 50, I think more important thing is not money. More important thing is the time spent with your parents, right? Because the parents getting older and older. And also more important thing, we have to treat ourselves better, right? Because what is the point that every day you are under a lot of stress, every day you're not happy, then after that affect your lifestyle, also affect your health. At the end of the day, we live in this world, how many years? 80, 90 years, we have to go one day, all right? So we need to live in this world to be fullest and to be meaningful and also to be happy. More important than to be happy, because once we have a happy, stressful life, basically the health will come. No point we have a lot of money, we buy a lot of things, but you don't have a health. We don't enjoy that. So 自主长乐.
But treat yourself better doesn't also mean like buy things,
Some people buy things they feel is good for themselves, but really benefit them. It's something like it's a mindset on it. It's a psychology, right? Buy things, I'm also happy, but after happy for a while, you disappear. The happiness is not sustainable. A bit cheap.
Yeah, it's okay. We are cheap channel. We are cheap channel. Yeah. We are there one. Yes.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. Something is we need something which is sustainable. It's the inner peace. For example, financial stress is if you really in a lot of debt. Right, you don't control your spending. Every time you overspend, that means your expense higher than your cash flow inflow. You will be very stressed. When you stress, you don't have a feel inner self. Then you're making a lot of wrong decision. For example, when you don't have enough money, what is the mindset? I need to work harder, I need to make more money, and then after that, I need to maybe gamble in the stock market itself. Your behavior will change, right? So for me, basically, I don't have that. I don't have any stress
because
on
my
the
wife take all the debt.
But I sponsor her lah. I sponsor her lah.
Yeah. Continue.
She also got a job. I got multiple sources of income. That's why I don't need anything. What I need is, okay, in short lah, inner peace, time, and also if I have time, I go holiday with my wife.
I feel like saying namaste to you.
The Zen thing.
Namaste. Yes.
Zen master.
Like Zen master. Yeah.
Right. You go to that stage when you're
Yeah.
getting older and older, of reach 50 years and become uncle.
Okay.
Eventually, all of us will become uncle or auntie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course. Yes. I really feel like my body is changing already. But
Yeah.
yeah. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, this quality of life thing, I've always seen this kind of comments on my channel where I talk about
I want to make 1 million by 35. Kena flag on CNA, a very
yeah.
serious flag. Yes.
So on that episode, right, people have been asking like, are you sacrificing your lifestyle for quality when you're not spending as much as other people? So my answer to this question is always, how do you define whether I am living a good quality of life? Is that in your perspective, or is it the social narrative? And how are you able to decide whether I'm living a good life or not? So it's always a matter of perspective, right? Like some people derive happiness and fulfillment from spending. That is why consumerism, retail therapy is born, because these people need to buy stuff and services to fulfill their happiness level, right? To bring it up to the level. Then myself on the other side, I derive happiness from saving money. So maybe I spend the same amount of money that I can get, and I don't need to spend that high level of money to achieve the same level of stuff. So that is another perspective that people should take on. Not that one perspective or the social narrative is always right. You always have to see that there are multiple perspectives towards spending, towards living, and all these things can be very diverse from people to people.
Okay,
And
but
rich people don't show off.
no, I've met many rich people that show off also. so it's a public persona. There's some level of that, But I think there are rich people that show off. Shout out to you. So, but okay, I want to double down on what you just said, right? The thing about savings, making you feel good in that sense, right? Like, you don't think that is also like something of a hedonistic kind of treadmill, similar to how people spend to feel good. Because I don't believe in retail therapy. Retail is retail, therapy is therapy. Okay, they both of them fundamentally do different things. Okay, retail therapy is like big companies trying to tell you to buy things. Okay, but I also find it problematic that people feel high from saving. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's like the number keep going out like whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I think I need to make a very clear distinction.
Okay.
It's not like you save until you're not spending money.
Okay.
It's more like if you can get a good discount on the things that you are already intending to buy.
HDB Tai like that.
Okay. Yeah. Some of these things that you buy, maybe you can get a few percentage savings from the shopping mall app. You get some discount vouchers and all those credit card hacks and stuff. I think that is something that I will enjoy doing. I will enjoy sourcing for, and I also share them on my channel as well. So these are the things that I think I'm good at, and I'm good at sharing those. And there are people who derive happiness from that, from my community. And so that is how I see the saving part. It's not on scripting on yourself.
Okay. Fair. And but I mean, there are other people that have a different viewpoint also, right? Like,
Sure.
Like Thomas from Steady Compounding, right? It's Thomas Chua. He was saying, why do all these people spend so much energy trying to hack the credit card game? Just quite invest lah. I never say that this is exact words, but this is what I inferred, right? And so I think it's about providing perspectives, right? Different people play the game differently, they have different stuff. And for my worldview, I do believe in spending well and not spending. Okay, so I come from a different viewpoint because I feel like a lot of times when people talk about like, how do we curb inflation or don't spend or austerity measures, right? Cut back on your own life, blah, blah, blah. It's very painful. And I understand that, right? It's very painful. It's like you're used to this, then you don't do it anymore, that kind of thing. So it's not great lah, as much as, it's always made to sound simple. But my view is it's not about not spending, it's about spending well, right? So I come from a different camp on these things, right? So I have went through a period of time where I really reduced my spending, and now I'm like, okay, I like to do this, so I do more of it. You know what I'm saying? Right? So it's about spending it very well rather than like not spending and just cut back, because that's what everyone is saying, right? It's like, Zheng Hu say must cut back, like fish too expensive, eat chicken, something like that, right? So it's that's my viewpoint, right? But what do you guys then spend on, especially in this situation?
I think spending is only one of the anger, right? If we continue to really control all our spending, eventually we will not be happy, or our family member will not be happy. We
Eventually,
cannot,
maybe don't even have family
we,
member.
we cannot continue to cut, right? That's why in order to solve this issue, it's an equation. We have to look at the cash flow in the portion, the income, right? So some of the people find that don't have enough money to spend. It's more on affordability, right? Whether you can afford this thing or not, right? They should really take a look into how are they going to upgrade themselves, generate more income, right? Like creating multiple sources of income. I think that's another very important angle, because once we are able to have all this kind of income, and this kind of income is sustainable. For example, whatever cash flow from a dividend is able to cover your expense, basically you're financially retired. As simple as that.
Yes.
Right. So I'm looking at that angle basically.
Okay, fair. So what are I mean people tune in to you to do a lot of the REIT kind of discussion, right? Which is great, well and good, right? A lot of these kind of dividend stuff. But what are some other sources of income that you think people can think a little bit more about? Yeah.
Now again, uncle talk.
Yeah, uncle talk, uncle let uncle talk.
Because
okay,
when you
不
get
听老人言, right?
when
吃亏在眼前, so you must take experience.
Yeah, I cannot take an uncle this name. Now very surprising. I say myself, I name myself as an uncle.
No, Kenny, you're in the transition phase.
Transition.
You're not there yet. Another 10 years, you're okay. You're comfortable
because
with this.
if I call myself Koko, also looks very strange.
I will walk out. I tell you. So you control yourself. Right. Yes.
When you're getting older and older, what is more important thing is we can no longer use our body, our time to exchange for income. The only valuable in ourselves and the asset can appreciate in terms of value is our knowledge and experience, right? And because when we get older and older, you know that after government always worry about a PMET above 40 years old, because they're gonna retrench or not easy to get a job itself, right? Personally, I was in the corporate world. I know what's happening, right? Even my ex-boss also told me that, hey, this guy 50 plus years old is too old. Okay, it's very consistent. So the age discrimination in the workplace is very real, especially for those who really above 40 years old. You cannot be guaranteed you are continuing to get a job, although you can keep your job. But when it comes to promotion, when it comes to increment, this group of people, they have a lesser and lesser opportunity. That's why you can see that a lot of so-called midlife crisis is very real.
Well, now got quarter life crisis.
Quarter life.
Yeah, 25 also crisis.
crisis.
You know about it?
I don't know.
I didn't know about it.
Wait, please comment the section. Let them know that there's this thing called quarter life crisis. Yeah, that means you haven't started your life, you already beta tahan, that kind of thing.
Are you talking about those people that post on Reddit about their very sad work life or relationship kind of thing?
No, it's like there's a huge discrepancy between your expectation of the real world when you're in school, and then when you come into the real world, the discrepancy is so big that you suffer a quarter life crisis.
Actually, they're always a case.
Yeah. So no, it's like quiet quitting, right? There are so many people quiet quitting now. There's a word to it. You know what I mean? Right. So like quarter life crisis on some level is there, like questioning why am I doing this? Like do I really want to do this? Blah blah blah. All that, right? And it's like barely halfway through, right? In the beginning, already beta hunt, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that, and I'm not discounting it, although I do feel like there are some things that can be done, but that's a different show altogether, different podcast. But yes, focus midlife crisis.
So actually, I did a mid-career transformation. I want to use a more positive word, right?
Mid-career transformation.
Yeah, mid-career transformation. I used to.
SkillsFuture got sponsor you now. Waiting for you. Send me the email.
Yeah. Actually, I used to work in the corporate world. I retrenched for 2 times, right? Because my background was in engineering. I managed a factory in China as a GM. Right.
Wow, that's cool.
So after I come in from China itself, basically, it is a mid-career. Singapore don't have manufacturing anymore, right? So if I want to continue to stay in manufacturing, the only place is to go to China. But I have stayed in China long enough, and also enough for me really. Basically, there's no quality of life, right? You still back to there's pool of money and also happiness. Which one you want? So I decided I have to come back because of happiness, because I can stay close to the family. Remember, that's the reason I come back. So after I came back from China, I have also retrenched 2 times. After that, around 45 years old, I tell myself, okay, I have to make a drastic change in my career, because if I continue to stay in manufacturing, if I continue to look for a third manufacturing job, I'll be retrenched again. Because the whole environmental change. Singapore is transforming to be a global financial hub, wealth management center. So that was the reason during a retrenchment period itself, I go and take up the financial planning course to upgrade myself. And at the same time, just things happen for a reason. Daniel Tay was my trainer. Course provider. He is the one to tell me, hey, since you're already teaching REITs, why don't you go and get a license, become financial advisor? Right? That's why the world is very small.
Yeah. Senpai Daniel. Yes. 要出山了，不要每天在那边 collect free gift.
So I think that was a excellent move. I did not know what I ventured into. I just said that, okay, why not just give it a try?
Yeah.
Right. And from there, I grow my business and also start to accumulate close to 30 million asset under advisory. Basically, it's using my knowledge and also my experience, because personally, I also invested myself. So I don't talk about theory. I really put my own money, go and invest to really prove that the solution, the strategy can work before I help my client. So I think that entering into the midlife, basically, we need to make full use of our knowledge to give advisory, to help people. I think to do consultation, I think that is another source of income. Instead of using, because no way I can use my body, it's old liao, lao liao, right, to really generate additional income.
Yeah. Today play soccer, tomorrow 淘田.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll all get there one day. Okay, it's not ageism, but we should do another topic about it. You know? I really think it's we do need to.
来了.
Yeah, I think we need to talk more about this, right? Because a lot of content targeted at young people, but there's a lot more like nuance and complexity when it comes to decision making, at a different stage of life, right?
Yeah.
That one we can talk about it another time. Yes, Chris. Yeah, what were we talking? What was the question again? Oh yeah, multiple source of income, and you have multiple source of income until cannot say.
I do have multiple sources of income, but they are.
I know. Have you seen his description? All the. I texted him one day. I was like, Chris, can you your description a bit wild, because all his YouTube video, right, under the description 2 line only, and then the referral link is like, whoa,
okay.
Every referral link is there. I was like, bro, relax, huh? And he was like, bro, this is how I retire.
I did not say that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
I got a text. I was like, this.
Okay,
but yes. But I'm good. I'm good. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, on multiple sources of income, this has been a thing, especially during the pandemic, right? People were just propagating this thing like it's so easy. I can tell you, it's definitely not easy.
Yes.
Because you need to have a starting point, and most people are even afraid to start, and they don't know what they're good at and how their skills and talents can generate money. So I would say that first look at what you are good at and what you love doing. Maybe that could be something that branch out from your main job. Maybe your main job, your main job is maybe a speaker, podcast host or something like that. You can branch out to MC, events MC, wedding MC. So it really depends on what you're good at and how you monetize it. For myself, I'm not good at speaking. Then some of you may wonder why I do YouTube channel. Because YouTube channel is just me talking. But it's really myself talking to myself. Me just talking to the camera and maybe share some of the things that I already know. Because all these years I've been researching on this kind of hacks, money saving things and kind of thing. So I just share what I know, and it's something I'm comfortable sharing. So you must look at what is your expertise, and if something is not your expertise and you want to develop it, then maybe that's when you want to look at training. Nowadays training don't need to really cost money. Even a lot of online education is free, even on YouTube.
Amazing. Yes. YouTube can do so much.
So it's not like you really need to go skills future and all that stuff. Because I know.
Hey, that one must say one. If not, no sponsor. Okay. You control yourself. Yes.
Okay.
But you can say what you want to say. Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, training not necessarily need to cost money. So maybe cost a bit of your time, which I think everybody, if you all have the will to go and build multiple sources of income, should go and just invest your time in all these things, learning to upgrade yourself lah.
Yeah.
I think focus on transferable skill, what we are good at is important.
Yeah.
So because financial planning is basically problem solving of the people finance. Because as an engineer, as a background itself, I used to solve all those product issue, quality issue, and the manufacturing line. So the engineering way of solving problem is step by step. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, right? So financial planning is also exactly the same thing. So that's why I can transit very well into the financial planning era.
Yeah. Fair. And I don't know, a fun thing for all of you, I don't know how many people realize that you receive a lot of name card, right? Or your teacher, in school, teaching physics or whatever, then you see a lot of them are Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Physics, right? There was a period of time that we were
Yes.
a big engineering hub.
Engineering hub.
And then we decided to take a different turn on this thing, and then a lot of people ended up have to reposition themselves. So you see analysts lah, teach in school lah, a lot of these things. So shout out to all the engineering people, right?
You can also do a career consultation channel also.
Yeah. We talk later. Behind. Yeah. Can talk sponsor, right? These days I'm very targeted with my media strategy. So who's going to sponsor? Huh? Yeah. So shout out to all of you. Email hello@thefinancialcoconut.com. Okay. Yes. So we've covered quite a few things, right? Like spending, change of mindset, income, all that. Which I think on our other shows we also talk a lot about income. They also can check out your content. What about let's say investing, right? I think investing is something that a lot of people also think about, in terms of generating income. Any quick thoughts around investing and all that?
Regarding investing, right, there are several different kinds of schools of investing.
Yes,
There is dividends investing, there's growth investing, and Kenny is more on dividend and reinvesting, right? Then there is this other camp called growth investing or even index fund investing. So if you're looking at cash flow generation, generally you need to look at dividend investing because that is what is giving you cash flow every quarter or every month, depending on what you invest on. Companies generally pays out part of their profits as dividends to the shareholders. But if you're looking at growth or index funds investing, that is more on building the portfolio, the capital generation kind of thing.
Provided it grows,
Provided it grows.
Growth investing, yes.
Maybe 2022 wasn't a good year
it was
of
a bad
growth.
year, bad year for
Very
growth.
bad
Nothing
year.
growing.
Yeah. So anyway, investing, you need to see which kind of investing style suits you. Not like everybody say they're young, should take risks, then you should go all in growth stocks, all in index funds. Then when you retire, then you go and think about dividend stocks. I feel that is just very one-sided thing. Not everyone is really suited for growth investing and index fund investing. Some of us really prefer to do dividend, stable, cash flow generating assets. So you have to find that style that really suits you.
So what is your style?
My style is index funds. So I mainly dollar cost average into index funds every month.
Okay. So at this point in time, never change.
Never change.
Okay. So no rebound, no change in strategy, because it's very common, right? A lot of people, they subscribe to a certain strategy, especially past few years, right? There's a lot of whatever strategy you take, growth, dividend, or whatever, right? You take a strategy, and then when shit hits the fans, when it's not so good, then there's a lot of rebound. A lot of people will be like, take a hard pivot, change the strategy. This doesn't work. Let's try another thing. So there's a lot of what I call rebound, right? And you guys, anything you want to say to such a phenomenon?
Okay, I guess it's very normal because especially during a bull market in 2020 and 2021, a lot of folks are drawn into growth investing, especially those growth stocks that give multiple 2 times, 3 times in a year. So a lot of people are drawn to that. And they also hear other people say dividend investing is for old people, this kind of thing, which I generally disagree.
Eventually, whoever say this thing, you will need it.
I always believe in a balanced diversification. You can have some of this in dividend stocks. You can have some of this in index funds. Of course, it's not as concentrated, but finding the right appetite, your risk appetite is very important. So that is how I feel. If there comes a day where you need to pivot to another portfolio, that is fine. You just need to know what you're doing and how comfortable are you in changing that strategy. Don't really need to care what other people say because you are your own portfolio manager. So why do you really care about what other people think of you?
But you don't feel like you may end up in an echo chamber, or you may end up in a situation where you think you're right, and then 10 years down you come out actually. I'm not that right.
Yeah, it will happen some point in time.
So how do you guard against this?
Yeah, especially during 2022, right? When you see this market crash kind of thing, and then there are a lot of people who really question their own portfolio, whether they were right following this kind of financial gurus in how they allocate their portfolio. So my take is that there are times where you really need to change your stance. And it's not like if you change your stance, it is wrong, or maybe you have made a mistake. It's more like a learning experience. You know that what style suits you, what style doesn't suit you. Then now that you have a clearer path to investing, you can go and carve out your own way.
Yes. It's not about sticking to one lane all the way. You know, I just want to caution rebound, right? In a bad time, you do a hard pivot, right? Because you feel like things are not going so well. But eventually, at some point in time, if it's not working, then you really got to review it, right? And it's not bad to switch lanes. Just don't be too rash and emotional. Does it make sense?
Yeah, actually, I learned a lot from the stock market itself, and one thing I learned throughout so many years already.
You can say many years.
Yeah, many years. Stock market is always right. It's always right. So I think that most of the people out there, because I also was a retail investor, I also lose a lot of money, don't know what I'm doing, just hantam, right? Until I become a proper certified and also trained financial advisor, and I know what are the mistake. I think the first thing first that investor always forget, why do they need to invest at the first place? Their objective. What is the final destination they have to arrive at? For example, if they are planning to retire at 65 years old, and at 65 years old, maybe you need 2 million to retire, and at the present moment, maybe at 40 years old, you only have maybe 100,000, right? You know that in 20 years' time, you have to grow your 100,000 to maybe 2 million. Then the next question you have to ask yourself, how are you going to grow from 100,000 to 2 million? From a work, every year you save 100,000, are you able to achieve it? You're not able to achieve it, you have to invest in it, right? Invest in it, then you have to select what type of investment, what type of asset class you give you that kind of growth element. From there, we start to identify what kind of asset class investment is suitable, right? Now you look at all the people, what they're doing now. Oh, read good, hantam. Crypto good, hantam. They're just hantam, right? So, for example, now another scenario, I know that at 65 years old, I need 2 million. At the present moment, I have 2 million. Then why should I take risk? Right? Must I go and park in the SSP or invest in REIT, then you're still able to generate the income. So first thing first, objectives is very important. The objectives must be quantified, like SMART. We talk about SMART, specific, measurable, you have a time bound. Same thing again. We have to define that clearly. Then you look for the right asset class. Because for me, why I go back to REIT, okay? I trade option, I trade CFD, I trade Forex, I trade index. Okay, I also trade crypto. I trade growth stock, right? Do all the analysis, and after that, end of the day, after so many lessons learned, okay, I start to understand actually it's not more suitable to me. Because after a while, you also ball string. A lot of things is totally beyond your control. For example, I'm trading, right? Trading, then suddenly the Jerome Powell say one thing, or someone Twitter, Donald Trump tweet one thing, basket. Elon Musk say that I want to buy Man U. Get up, get down, how going to play, right? And also when you, no matter how you set a stop loss, when the market go up, get down, actually you lose more than your stop loss. Right, so it's very easy to lose money in the stock market. Those are things you cannot control, and all this trading mechanism, all the stock price movement, is nothing to do with fundamental. It's something to do with news. News you cannot control, and at the same time you also have an algo trading. Once they automatically release some news, for example, interest rate go up by how much, immediately you can see immediately you can see very volatile all the price movement already. Those are not traded by human. So as individual trader, you want to trade against a computer, you expect to win a computer, really is a BS, really BS. But what are the retail investors do? I can predict the market. Market drop, I know that when it's a bottom. I get out first, I wait for the market to bottom before going. You very good, go ahead. Because based on experience learned, nowhere we can time the market, nowhere. So what we need to do is, once we define it, for example, now actually 2022, everybody very scared, right? I'm so happy. The reason being is because I have already set a target. I want to achieve 100,000 passive income from my REIT portfolio. At the present moment, as long as I have not achieved 100,000 passive income, maybe I'm 80,000. It's an opportunity for you to accumulate to make sure you have a 100,000 of passive income by a certain date. So that is the thing that I'm looking at. So I think retail investors have to really focus on the objective and also look for the right asset class, right? And stick to it. Don't say that, oh, one day go up, I go in the market. The other day come down, I go and ball string or go out of market.
That's timing the market.
Right.
Okay.
You just observe. You just observe.
I know. I observe many.
Many, right? Many, right?
Many.
Yeah.
But I understand the kind of psyche involved. You know, I'm not dissing them, right? I don't think we are lah. I don't think we are dissing people that are newer in the space, but it's really more of recognizing that, okay, firstly, you're not alone. There are a lot of people have already done that, and we've kind of been through some of these cycles, you know. At least Kenny can say, I cannot really say it.
Yeah, I went through two cycles, and during the first market crash, 2009, I watched the market come down. Then after that, enter a little bit, make some money, 10%, get out of market. Then after that, for the next 5 or 6 years, wait for looking at the index going to continue to go up. Because I have not experienced the cycle yet, right? Then during the March 2020 market crash itself, it dropped a lot. If you look at all the valuation, all the fundamental, the drop does not really make sense. And I was very gung-ho. I really hood during that time. Okay. Now, after that, immediately the stock market rebound. Right now, this time round, actually the market going through a correction. If you look at the fundamental on the REIT itself, again, REITs, the valuation actually close to the March 2020 market crash value. Close to 20, in average, 20% discount on the property value.
I know.
But if you look at macro environment, during that time, the whole world being locked down, right? All the economy stopped, and we want to go to a shopping mall, we also cannot go, right? Then at the present moment, now everything opening up, right? Economy doing well. But the valuation, now the market gives you discount, huge discount, and also the dividend yield for all those Temasek linked blue chip REIT give you around 5 to 6%.
Temasek link now a bit sensitive.
Okay,
A bit sensitive. Control yourself. A bit sensitive.
So you look at the valuation itself. Basically, if it's just purely based on the valuation, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are being present a very good property, generated a very good rental income at very good location and 20% discount, no brainer, we should go and buy already, right? But at the present moment, when we advise some of the retail investor, people are so scared. Because the emotion already overtaken their logical thinking.
Price to book today for the REIT market in Singapore is about 0.8.
0.8 is very, very cheap.
So to put it simple, that means all the value of the property add together in the real world market that they can sell X dollar, you know, it's the whole REIT market is only 0.8 of that X.
Yeah. For example, the property value is $1. Now you can buy it at 80 cents. And at the same time, after you buy 80 cents, every year you can get 5 to 6% dividend.
Yeah, that's why we're going to start a show, right? Yeah. We're going to talk about it every month. Kenny will join us. We'll talk a little bit about the REIT market. So yeah, stay tuned for that show. In closing, other than all these, we went through the whole repertoire. Pretty much a lot of things around how to manage this inflation. How are you doing some of these things? Maybe we close with something simple, right? If with one thing for the audience, right? Simple thing that you will do to manage this inflation situation. Okay, I can start first. Okay,
You start first.
I stock up on rice. legit.
Why rice though?
Yeah. No, I'm not just rice. Rice is an acronym for commodities, pretty much. Right, so rice, beans, all these things. I've stocked up for a period of time already. Right, so because we can invest and all that. Yes, those are real. But if you don't cash out or you don't liquidate out it from the market, technically the money is still kind of rolling inside. Right, you're not really using it. Right, so actually I think earlier this year, I already talked to my audience about this thing. Maybe one of the better way. Although I know NTUC say don't stock up. One of the better things that you might want to do is to stock up some of these necessities. So that you essentially extract your food budget out of the monetary system. You directly change it into like real makan things, right? Like things you can eat and all that, right? So to me, that is if you talk about like simple. To me, that is a simple way to go about, right? Extracting your food budget out of the market straight away. Yeah.
Okay, so something simple for me would be to start looking at credit card discounts, cashback, all this kind of apps thing. Some of you may treat it like a small little hobby because it does take up some time to read up and maybe formulate the strategies. But if you really need more help, right, just go and ask around the community, search on online spaces on how people are maximizing their cashback on this stuff. So once you have got the hang of it, you only need to learn one time. Then you can start to apply all these kind of cashback discounts. I think it's fairly fun, fairly simple to follow as well.
Yeah, you can follow his channel. I will send you the invoice.
Yeah, I think look for alternative. For example, just now Akun Kaya Toast, right? Kaya Toast is Kaya Toast.
Yeah.
You eat a coffee shop, right? That's why if you go to the NTUC or Fair Price, you know that they are man brand, right? Just look for house brand. Then you can save some money already. Another thing is still a shirt, right? Right? Yeah. Maybe this one $50, and then I buy a simple one $10 for Hang Tang, right? Or Giordano, I still can wear a shirt or something. Alternative.
Hey, Giordano is very atas in China.
Atas,
Yeah, very atas in China. You don't know where Giordano? Wow, got Fashion Week one Really. Shanghai Fashion Week or Giordano no sale. But
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
I do agree. And I think recently there's a very good phenomenon called thrifting. Where you kind of buy second-hand clothes kind of thing. But it's like atas one or stylish one, stylish second-hand clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like not the kind of like fast fashion buy and throw away kind of situation where you buy some of these big pieces at a very, very massive discount because it's second-hand, third-hand, whatever, and it's a thrifting, right? It's a phenomenon that I think is very interesting.
And when it comes to the alternative, the quality not necessarily is bad. Because in the manufacturing world, they call it labeling.
White
label, right? So, for example, if you make your own Kaya Toast, then you go and sell it at the Akun Kaya Toast, actually you can fetch higher price. You make yourself one.
Yeah. I get it. So in other words, Kenny never say anything specific, but there's a good chance that the cake you eat at the cafe, right, is actually the same cake at McDonald's.
Yes.
I never name who, but I know the supply chain. So the McCafe cake and the many cakes that you buy at the cafe is the same thing. Okay, no, you never say who, but this is essentially manufacturing back end, right? White labeling, some of these things. So house brands are not technically bad, right? I would say, right? And I think NTUC has also put in quite some effort to do some of the house brand like Naifen, some of those things, right? Like milk powder. I think that one is especially expensive for a lot of young parents. And the house brand quality so far that I gather from my friends who are young parents is quite good.
Yeah, goes for house brand.
Yes. So yeah, shout out to NTUC. Very happy that you're doing more things. Yeah, but okay, you can sponsor us lah. We can talk more good things about you. So yes, thank you for your time. Appreciate, and I hope you learned something useful. In today's episode. Thank you guys.
Okay.